Hello everyone, time for part 3. I know it's taken a while, but there's so much on day 3 in Peru. It was a really kind of epic day for me. A lot of things that were on my bucket list that I've always wanted to see, I got to see. It started out very early in the morning. I had booked a tour with Get Your Guide. It's a really good booking platform to get proper good tours. This one was a bit pricey, but I wanted to see the Nazca lines properly from a little plane, not like trying to drive through the desert and only see little fragments of these gigantic sort of carvings in the middle of the desert. It's very fascinating. But first of all, they picked me up. I had about 3 hours sleep, and we first drove in darkness a couple of hours until we got to the harbor to go out to the Ballestas Island, and that is a little island which is full of penguins and sea lions. So the penguins are pretty unique because they were not even discovered until the 1800s when the German explorer Alexander von Humboldt, that I talk a lot about during my tours, because he was here in Berlin and he traveled all around the world. He discovered so much, like the Humboldt Current outside the coast of Australia. He mapped out Antarctica. He was in South America. He was in North America. He was in Africa. He was in Asia. He was absolutely everywhere. And I always call him Gay Indiana Jones. Because he was he was an adventurer, and he wasn't even hiding his sexuality, which is pretty amazing for the 18th and 19th century, because he lived a long time as well. He was born in 1756 and he lived way up into the 1800s as well. And of course he's mostly known for funding the amazing university in Berlin, the Humboldt University, first research-based university in the world, with about 26 different Nobel Prize winners attached to it. Albert Einstein was there, Karl Marx was there, Max Planck was there, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin was there. I mean, I can go on, there's so many famous. But now we are in Peru, and now will tell you more about my Peru. So it started out with the sea lions and the Humboldt penguins that Alexander von Humboldt discovered. And then after that, we went to the little airstrip not far away from there, where I was in a tiny little plane, like a kind of a four-seater, to go over these famous Nazca lines. And wow, yeah, it was pretty amazing. But it was difficult to catch it on camera. I must say, I tried to take videos of it, but you can't see anything on the videos. So what I've done is I've taken all the photographs I've taken and I've really darkened them so that the lines will stick out. I mean, it looked really clear when you were up in the sky, but trying to take photos, especially with the mobile phone, it didn't work at all. But you will see some of these very famous drawings in the deserts. And I finished the day with going for a very late lunch at the Huacachina oasis. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm terrible with pronouncing all these names, so please forgive me if I get the names wrong. But let's get started with part 3, which is going to be a long one with a lot of pictures and a lot of little video sort of clips as well.
Hello, just to check in. I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on a boat now to go out to Ballestas Islands. I have to check up the name later on, but it's got penguins and sea lions. It was discovered by Alexander von Humboldt from my hometown, from Berlin, and it is always misty and cold here because of the Humboldt Current coming all the way from Antarctica. That's also why they have penguins and sea lions. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. I'm really tired. So sorry about the appearance here. So here we are on the boat going through the arid landscape. We took the boat from El Chaco or from Paracas, which is in the National Reserve, the National Park of Paracas. So there is like no life really, apart from lots of animals, because of course the sea has got a lot of life. Otherwise it's arid desert. You can see how many boats there were leaving from El Chaco. So the boat went further out. You can see these amazing cliffs here. The landscape was really arid and a bit mysterious. Also, the white stuff you see on everything, that is guano. It is basically bird poo. You see this geoglyph? It is about 2,000 years old. It's from the Nazca people. They used that to navigate, a little bit like a big light tower. The Nazcas are really fascinating, more than the Incas. You can see more of this like guano, the bird poo. It is Peru's biggest export. The birds you can see there are called Peruvian boobies. Yes, I know, we can laugh about that. And here you can see more of the Ballestas Islands. There's not just one, there are several, all these little cliffs here, and how the sea has kind of carved out these caves and things. It's really beautiful and pretty desolate as well. Back to the boobies, the Peruvian boobies. If you wonder what they're using the poo for, it is for fertilizer, of course. It is dried and it's white. Yeah, it might sound like one of the other exports from Peru. I'm not going to go into any details. You can probably figure out what I'm talking about. Anyway, you didn't see much of the downside of Peru. Here we go. Soon we're going to see those famous penguins. There we are. That is one of the Humboldt penguins. They're really cute. They got like this much smaller. They got a little mask on, like little Zorro penguins. The one flying is one of these boobies because penguins don't fly, but I'm sure you all knew that they don't fly. So this little island here is like a little reservoir for them. We go underneath one of these arches again. There were quite a few of them. It is the sea that has carved it all out. Nature is fantastic. And these islands are pretty special. I think we're going to see more penguins soon. Yeah, there we go. There we got them waddling about, little cuties. Yeah, here we have them. You can enjoy the little penguins for a while here. And the boat, it kind of goes around, it goes underneath these arches, all naturally carved through the years around these islands. As I said earlier on, it's always kind of grey and misty, but that is because of the Humboldt Current, also discovered by our friend, our idol, Alexander von Humboldt. It comes all the way from Antarctica and it's cold. So it clashes with the warmer air, and that's why you get all these mists all the time. It wasn't freezing, but it wasn't. Oh, here we go, sea lions. That's the other animal that Ballestas Islands are famous for. They just like chilling. It's kind of early in the morning. They haven't quite woken up. And we were wondering, why are there just 2 sea lions? We thought we were going to see more. Yes. Just hold on. We saw them, but in a very, not the place that we expected to see them. There's one on the beach, like waking up, having a bit of a roar in the morning. So we turned back towards the harbor of Paracas, and guess what? That is where all the sea lions were hanging out. probably like waiting for the fishing boats, and maybe they were gonna throw them some heads and guts, whatever, from the fish, whatever they could eat. They were all like squeezing in onto this little boy, but yeah, not much room for them. Near the shore, we also have flamingos, pink flamingos, pecking for worms or whatever they could find just by the shoreline. This whole area is just like a big national park with a lot of different wildlife. So we are now coming to the exciting part. Here's me about to board a little plane going off to the famous Nazca lines. Okay, it was very crowded in there. It was not a kind of smooth ride, and I was a bit scared. So it was all worth it. Here you can see, this is why I stopped filming. You can see the landscape, you can see the sand, but later on I had to cut the flying bits off because you couldn't see anything of these fantastic Nazca lines. So the Nazca line started with the Paracas people about 400 BC, so well over 2,000 years ago. The Nazcas continued with this tradition around 200 BC. So these lines, they are like 2,500 years old. Isn't that incredible? We still don't know exactly what they are for. Here you can see it's a bit of greenery in the valley as well. Now, how they made them was the ground is like got a lot of copper, so they dug out trenches. Here you can see these straight lines. Don't they look like airfields, like landing tracks? That is what I did read that stupid Eric Daniken book when I was a kid, but I couldn't help but thinking of it. I've sort of lined out a few of the drawings now. You can see them on the hill. There's little figures. They call them the king and the queen. There will be a closer one there. They're quite cute, actually. Can you see them? As I said, it's really difficult to see them. Here you've got some abstract little figures. Now, so what they would do, they would dig a trench and that would expose the limestone underneath. That will harden when the rain came. And that is why we still have these things about 2,500 years after. But look at this guy. Is that an alien? Could be an alien. Look, it's waving at us. And here we got the famous monkey. We are going to go a little bit closer to the monkey. There you can see the monkey again. I mean, you can only see this from the air. Some of them you can see from a viewing tower and from some hills, but most of them are impossible to see from there. That is why it took them such a long time to discover. And they still find new ones. This area is about 1,800 kilometers of lines, these straight ones, the landing fields, the line, the sort of airline strips that I always talk about, and it's so straight. It just makes me wonder. I cannot help but wonder. They were probably just very clever, but still, here we got a bird.
And here you can see it from another angle. I hope you can see it, that the quality is not too bad. I've taken several pictures of it. I mean, he kept circling over these things until I got like a bit car sick, well, air sick rather. I didn't throw up or anything, but at the end I started to think like, oh, we better stop now. Yeah, we have some very abstract ones here. It's like real Picasso, but 2,000 years before Picasso. And as I said, these very straight lines. Here that you have a little viewing tower that will watch over this like tree and this weird figure, which is basically a head with a big arm on it, like a big hand on it. It is very strange. As I said, it's very abstract art, a very modern art. This is like some kind of, what is it, a wind turbine, or is it a flower? We have a kind of a lizard here, like a salamander or a gecko, more of these spiral kind of trippy patterns in the desert, more kind of Picasso. There's a lot of Picasso. He was active here 2,500 years ago, it seems like. And then we flew back. Just when I felt like I was going to hurl, we flew back towards Paracas and to the airfield.
So this is Huacachina oasis. It's not that great, to be perfectly honest. It's kind of pretty, but it's very touristy and it's very dirty. And you have all the tourists like doing sand buggy things on the dunes there. But nice place for lunch.
Well, for the Peruvian tourists, it must be amazing to see these palm trees and water. Oh my God, water. I mean, you couldn't swim in the water. It was so dirty, and there were warnings for it everywhere. But as I said, this was our late lunch, and I really needed it. I was very hungry after all the adventures. We have some of the local birds there, and it's just, yeah, there weren't that many people, as I said, that were doing sand buggy things, but you have these like lovely palm trees and these birds, they're cormorants, and they liked it there. I guess there was lots of things for it to eat. After that, I needed something to eat, and I couldn't resist the name of this one. I just had to eat that. So finally, that was part 3. I know it took such a long time to do this, and I'm really sorry that's not going to happen in the future. It's just the last month has been insane, absolutely insane. I had my birthday. I went to Manchester to see one of my heroes, Eric Idle from Monty Python. And I came back, I worked, and then I went to London for a wedding, and I stayed there for a while because I used to live in London for a long time. And then I came back and I went to this fantastic Doctor Who convention when I dressed up as Maestro from the latest Doctor 15 in season 1. And my cosplay got a lot of praise. It was Halloween. I had guests coming over. It was like one guest after another. We went to Cottbus in Germany for a concert with one of my favorite bands, Knorkator. And finally, this week, I had a couple of days to put this very complicated big chapter into my Peru travels on. It is, as you saw, the fantastic Nazca lines. And the next one, it won't be that long because I do have a bit of time off now in November, which is wow. And the next one will be quite a short one. It will be the old city center of Lima before I flew off to Arequipa. So yeah, probably in about a week we can look forward to that one. And please, 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 please like and subscribe, especially this one. You might wonder why everyone keeps going on about it, but I really do want to make a little bit of money on this so that I can continue to travel. I mean, this year I'm like scraping by to travel, and I hope that maybe next year if I can make a little bit of money on the side. I'm not asking for any fortunes or anything. I'm just asking you to press the subscribe button and comment a little bit as well. So I will see you shortly for part 4 of my Peru adventure.